Hey guys, another quick video. I'm here to talk about the prelims. Starting with Andre Petroski against Wellington Turman. Petroski came from the Ultimate Fighter and he's 3-0 in the UFC with some great wrestling, some decent size to him. A brown belt in jiu-jitsu, and he very much enjoys grappling. He's gone out and done a few grappling matches and he's beaten the likes of Eric Anders and Phil Hawes in those grappling matches. Has never been to a decision. He's always looking for a finish, and in his last fight he beat Nick Maximov. And Maximov is no joke when it comes to the grappling. So Petroski's been very impressive to me. Now his opponent, Wellington Turman, is going to make for a very tough fight for him. He's 3-3 in the UFC. He's won his last two. In his last fight, he submitted Misha Serkinov by armbar. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu and he trains with Glover Teixeira. He may have a better jiu-jitsu background and even a jiu-jitsu advantage there. But Petroski's got some pretty good Michael Chandler-like explosiveness to him, along with some outstanding wrestling to go with it. To be honest, I also picked him to win the Ultimate Fighter whenever that season was going. So I'm going to keep rooting for him. He's gone 3-0 in the UFC since then. I'm taking Andre Petroski in this one. And the next fight, Erin Blanchfield against Molly McCann. McCann's been a fan favorite as of late. She's 6-3 in the UFC with a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, and she's won her last 3 fights. But in this fight, she's definitely going to prefer to stand. And we've even seen Molly talk a little bit of trash as of late. She dared Blanchfield to wrestle fuck her in this fight. Those were her words. So it sounds like she's definitely been working on takedown defense and even jiu-jitsu and grappling. Now Blanchfield is 9-1 as a pro. Undefeated in the UFC. She's going to have a 4-inch reach advantage. She's won her last 6 fights. And she's got some great grappling. She's a black belt in jiu-jitsu and also trains at Renzo Gracie Academy. And this might upset some people, but I think I'm going to take Erin Blanchfield in this fight. I just see the grappling being a bit too much for Molly. Now on to Dominic Reyes against Ryan Spann. Now Reyes, early on in the UFC, showed a lot of potential, winning his first 6 fights, proving himself to be very well-rounded. A lot of people still think he beat John Jones to this day, but it went down in history as a loss, and it just seems like he hasn't been the same since. And yes, he's definitely tried, but his last 2 fights have been knockout losses to Jan Blachowicz and Yuri Prohaska, which is definitely no joke. But neither is Ryan Spann, who's an inch taller. He's going to have a 2-inch reach advantage. He won his last fight against Kudalaba, and he's from the Dana White Contender Series. He's currently 6-2 in the UFC, 2 knockouts, 2 subs, 2 decisions. Now his only 2 losses are to Anthony Smith and Johnny Walker. But he's got massive power. He's going to look to stand in this fight. And I think Ryan Spann has the capabilities to get the job done. So for this fight, I'm going to take Spann. And on to the main event of the prelims. This one's going to be a good fight. This is going to be a great fight. Brad Riddell against Renato Moicano. Both coming off of losses. Brad having lost his last 2 to Jalen Turner and Rafael Fiziev, and Renato losing to RDA. So these guys are very top-tier talent for sure. They've got somewhat similar backgrounds, but Renato's definitely going to have the grappling advantage, along with a 3-inch height advantage and a 1-inch reach advantage. He's very well-rounded, really good Muay Thai, great grappling. He's got 5 finishes in the UFC, all by sub, and his opponent Brad Riddell's only 10-3 as a professional MMA fighter, but he's 59-8 as a kickboxer, and also won the WKBF middleweight title at one point, and went on to fight for several other titles. Now, he seems to be a bit more aggressive on the feet than Renato does, but man, he's got a lot of power and he's willing to let it loose at any moment. And there's something about all of the city kickboxing guys being on this card, Brad Riddell being one of them. I feel like they're going to have a lot of momentum going in. Even though I did pick against Carlos Olberg, I think Brad Riddell can get the job done. So for this fight, I'm going to take Brad Riddell. So to recap, and I'm also going to recap the last video because I think I forgot to. On the last video, I took Nikolai Negumarianu, Montel Jackson, Sungwoo Choi, Karolina Kowalkiewicz, and Otman Azatar. And for this video, I took Andre Petroski, Erin Blanchfield, Ryan Spann, and Brad Riddell. And that's all I got for you for the prelims. Hit like, subscribe, and all that.